Hey everyone, and welcome back to DIY with Melissa. Of course, I'm Melissa, and I have a fun tutorial for you today. Today, we're going to elevate our Mother's Day tablescape with our Cricut, of course, and I'm going to show you how I created all the little bits for this tablescape. So let's head over to the computer and get this project started. We're going to start off by making this pennant. We are back at the computer and we are going to dive right into this project. It is so much fun to make. It's so simple. Majority of the pieces will be print then cut, and we're just going to get right into it. I am going to open a new Cricut window. If you didn't know that's a possibility, it is. We will click on the three dots at the top here and then click on File and New Window. This opens another window that we can design with. I really like to do this because I can't function on a not messy but cluttered canvas. So all my projects on that other canvas, this just helps me organize things nicely. We will start off with the pennant. It is really pretty. And before I move over to the other window, I just want to let you know the pennant I'm using. The project number for this is M505 F4EB3. And with that number, we're going to copy it from this canvas. And I'm going to move over to this canvas here. And under images, I'm going to just put that number in the search bar, and that's how we find it. As you can see, this pennant looks different than the one that we are going to create. I will just bring this guy over. We can also bring things over to a new canvas, clicking on the project you want to bring over, right click and copy. And then in the new canvas, right click and paste. Now we have our pennant over here as well. So as you can see, it's not the same pennant. Really, the only thing I'm using from the one that I just called out is this portion here, where we're going to fold this portion over to stick on our dowel. How did I go about doing that, you ask? So we're going to click on the one that we want to edit and ungroup it. There is a portion that is attached as well, so I'm going to detach that as well. So now if you look on the right side here, there is now 3 portions available that we can play with. I'm going to delete the pennant. I didn't want the wavy lines, and I'm going to delete the name as well. I really just wanted this portion. I'll then go into shapes and bring in a triangle. We will rotate our triangle and add it to our pennant here. And now we can resize it until it's sitting on the green part nicely. Okay. Once you are happy with the alignment of this, and the only other thing I did to make sure it was aligned, which now it's not aligned, is I selected both and I clicked on flatten just to see it. So I hope you can see that. You can see there's a white gap here, which means it's not actually aligned. So I'm going to unflatten and I'm going to bring this in again. And one more time, just up ever so slightly. That looks pretty good. So let's select it all again and flatten. And that looks pretty clean to me. There's a bit of a part there, so I'll unflatten it. And I'm actually going to just bring this down ever so slightly. There we go. Flatten again. And once you're happy with it, we can unflatten it. And so now that we have the pennant ready, as you may be able to see, I have a flowered border on this pennant. And how I'm going to do that is by uploading this pattern. I did get this pattern from Creative Fabrica. I searched up soft flower pattern and some options show up here. As you can see, there's quite a few options available. I did like the soft flower with butterfly pattern, and I downloaded it. It goes into my downloads folder, and it's a zip folder. So you would right click and unzip it. And then we have our patterns here. The pattern I'm using is the pink and purple flower pattern that I uploaded into Design Space right here. And we can just go through quickly how to upload something into Design Space. I'm going to click on Upload, Upload Image. I'm going to browse to wherever that folder is saved to and click on the pattern that I want. Click on Open, Continue, Apply and Continue. This will be a flat graphic. It will be a print then cut project. We'll click on Continue and Upload. You can then size this down to whatever size you want. And I'm going to make it a bit bigger. I'm going to send this to the back. Now, you may remember we just fought with lining this up perfectly. So I do not want to move this triangle at all. So I'm going to go ahead and move my pattern to the back of the design. And using the control button on my keyboard, I'm going to select the pattern and the triangle and click on slice. Once I click on slice, I can delete the excess, which is the bigger portion of the pattern, which is now sliced out of, and then the black. And there you have it. Selecting just the patterned triangle again on the right hand side, I'm now going to offset this triangle. And this is completely up to you how much of the pattern you want to show, but do remember you want to put this wording in as well. So we don't want it too big, and I found 0.18 was the perfect spot for that. I will change that to white. And now we have our pennant already. For me, I like to be on the safe side, and so I'm going to select everything and click on flatten. This just ensures that my green portion doesn't move away from the triangle portion. I just like to be safe. Once you're happy with that, we'll go back to images. And from here, I just searched up Happy Mother's Day, and I used a design that was already made one. Of course, you can go ahead and create your own design, or maybe find one on Creative Fabrica as well. Wherever you might find designs, you can do that. This pink one is really pretty as well. So we can either use this pink one and place it in here. I don't really like how that looks. I did like this one a lot. We'll resize it to fit. This is a print and cut project, meaning this will be a flat graphic at the back, so we can overlap it a touch. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to select all again and flatten. I'll delete that. For this print and cut, I did make the size, the largest size that Cricut will print then cut. If you click on the exclamation mark, you can click on auto resize image, and that will make it the size that Cricut will allow you to cut it at. Our pennant is now ready, and we'll head over to the craft table so I can show you how it looks once everything is printed and cut and on our dowel. Here is our printed design. We're going to go ahead and get this cut. Of course, the arrow goes at the top. And I did print this on shimmer white cardstock because I love the look of the shimmer. I'm going to get this cut and we'll be right back. I have some wooden dowels here. I think I might have gotten these from the dollar store. I honestly can't remember. And I think I'm going to go with the medium size. There's 3 sizes in here, or 4 actually. There's 3/16, a quarter, 5/16. I think this is a quarter, and 3/8. We'll remove our project from the mat. And this pennant is so easy to work with. We are just going to add this here like that. fold this over and we're just gonna glue it. But before we glue it, I'm actually going to fold these over now, and so I can get a clean look to it, like so. So it's a bit cleaner. And I'll just stick it like that. Before we glue it, I want to add some ribbon. I got this from Michael's, which is really pretty and will go well with our Mother's Day theme. I think I might grab this piece here. And what else? I might actually do this color because it matches the color that's on the pennant there. All right, so we want this up here. I think that's a little bit too long, so I'm actually going to trim this down some. Or maybe I'll just trim it in half and use the 4 pieces, just like so. There we go. I'll just tie it up. There we go. I'm just going to use some Barely Arts glue as usual. And I'm just putting a little bit on the little flaps that we have here. Just so it doesn't budge. Get this on. Barely Arts glue is amazing. It takes a few seconds to hold and you can be on your way. So just like that, we have a Mother's Day pennant ready to place into our flower jar. All right, our next project is going to be the menu. And we also will show the tags. It's very simple to do, so I'm going to do the 2 of them at the same time. For the menu, I did use Canva for a portion of this. The portion that I used Canva for was to make the background of the menu a little bit more transparent. The pennant, as you can see, is a little bit brighter than the background of the menu. And that's the only thing I use Canva for as far as this project goes. So I'm going to head over to Canva. And this is a free version of Canva that I'm using. I do have the pro version, so you'll see nothing here because I don't use this one, other than to show you all what can be done with the free version of Canva. I know we're all watching our pennies, and the pro version is not available for everybody right now financially, and I want to be able to show you what is doable with the free version. We're going to start off by clicking on Create a Design. Typically, when you open it, unless you've been designing, but if it's your first time, this is what it looks like. And the units always default to pixels. I go ahead and change that to inches. And you'll want to do that beforehand because I'll show you what happens if you do it after. So my menu is a 5x7 sheet of paper. You don't need to worry about that really in here. This could have been an 8.5x11 sheet. But for the sake of keeping it consistent with what we're going to do in Cricut, I'm going to create the 5x7 sheet of paper. And now, as you can see, I'm getting some red alerts. So we need to change that to inches, and this is what happens. So, which is why I said you might want to change it to inches prior to putting in your numbers, because you'll have to redo it again. We'll click on Create New Design. And I'm going to upload the pattern that I want. We'll click on Upload Files. And from here, whichever file you would like to upload, you can do so. I believe I chose this one here for the menu. We will upload it and bring it onto our sheet. Now, you don't want to do it this way. You want to take the corner and just drag it. And even though it's coming off the page, it's okay. We're not gonna worry about this anyhow. This is all that's gonna get added to Cricut. Once this is in here, up at the top, it says transparency. If I hover over it, the word transparency shows. If not, it looks like a checkerboard that starts off light and goes up to dark. We'll click on that and we'll take this little scrolly bar and we can move this up and down. And this is what allows us to make our sheet transparent, which to me is gorgeous. Once you're happy with your transparency, of course, play around with it. And I think about 59 looks good. We went up more. Even 67 is not bad. But I think I'm going to go down to 61. Okay. Once you're happy with your transparent background, we're going to go up to share. We're going to click on that and click on download. We are going to download a PNG so we can upload it to Cricut. We can't do anything else in here because you do need the pro version to be able to do it. I think as far as downloading, you can download pretty much all file types except for SVG. SVG, you do need the pro version. We are going to go ahead with the PNG. The transparent background, if you were doing a different design where there's maybe words in it, you would want a transparent background because to remove the background in Cricut sometimes doesn't work very well, but you will need Pro to do that. So these are the things that you can do in Canva if you have Canva Pro. I'm going to hit download. Once it downloads, my downloads always download to my download folder. I'm going to go to Cricut and I'm going to click on upload, upload image, browse, and to my downloads I go, and I'm going to select the transparent pattern that I just created. I'll click on continue, apply and continue. We want a flat graphic, continue, and then upload. Once our design is in, we can resize this. Don't forget to unlock. We want a 5x7. I chose 5x7 because that's the size of the frame that I'm using. And of course, I'm going to bring in my design that I already did. And there you go. So for this design, I will unflatten it. The word menu, I just brought my text box in and typed in menu. The font that I used for the word menu is I Love Glitter. This is a font that can be found on Creative Fabrica. I'm not sure if defont.com has it, but I did get this from Creative Fabrica. Stretch it downwards and change the color to black and line it up against the page here, just like so. This portion here, I use the same font as the word menu for it. And the way I went about doing this portion, just to make sure it was all lined up, is I used my grid lines over here. I typed in the name, the heading that I wanted. I sized it down up here first so that it can see what it will look like. Once I was happy with it, I brought it over here and lined it up on the 2. I then hit the plus sign and lined this up on the 4. Same thing here, and line this up on the 6. One more, and on the 8. So when trying to line things up, I highly suggest using your grid lines. It will help you a lot. I then selected all 4, and I aligned center horizontally. Once I had that done, then I brought in another text box, and instead I used Times New Roman for the names of the food that is being served. So you would go through, write them all out. I'm not going to go ahead and write all of them out again, but I'm going to do this instead. Hopefully you all understand or get the idea, I guess, of what I'm trying to do. Once all of it is in place, I then selected all of the names of the food and drinks that I'm using, and I align center horizontally as well. And then the last thing I did was I just played around with it. So some of them are more, there's more items than others. So I just eyeballed that and played around with the spacing for there. Once I was happy with everything, I selected all of it, hit group, brought it to my menu, and resized it to fit just like so. And our menu is complete. I then selected all of it, all of the wording and the background, and clicked on flatten. And there you have it. You have a menu ready. The labels for the orange juice, lemonade, and water, those are really simple. I brought in one of these patterns. Again, same way I uploaded it the last time is the same way I uploaded this. And I actually used the one with butterflies on it, if I can find that. I think this one. I'll show you why I'm looking for this particular one. Yes, there we go. Okay. And I brought in a shape. I measured my container that I'm going to use for these labels, of course, and those, it was 3 inches, and I just kept it locked and changed the width to 3 inches because that's what I needed the width at, and left the height whatever it ended up being. And then I wanted the butterflies to show a little bit. So how I go about seeing if the butterflies are actually going to show is under operation, I change that to pen, and now I can adjust my design wherever I need to for the butterflies to show up in the design. So like so. Once I'm happy with it, I'm going to select both the square or rectangle and the pattern and click on slice. Now I can remove the excess, and then we're going to do another negative offset. And like I said, I want the butterflies to show. That looks pretty good to me. I'll click on apply, change this to white, select both the offset and the rectangle and flatten. Change this and change this so it's easier to see. And there you have your label. Once you have your label in place, you can duplicate it however many times you need and add in your text. The font that I used for this is DTC Honey Syrup, another one of my favorite fonts. And I did change the color to black, size it down a little bit. So select both, align, center, and flatten. So these will also be a print then cut project. We're going to head over to the computer, and I'm just going to print this and show you what it looks like once it's complete. Our menu is now complete. How gorgeous is that? The little tip on using Canva to change the transparency of the background is truly amazing. I printed these ones on this cardstock because I really like the shimmer and I wanted the shimmer to be added to it. So I'll just use some double-sided tape to stick this part on. And of course we have the frame ready for the menu. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one cut. All right, these are now cut. Look how gorgeous the menu is. It is so pretty. And our little labels are also very gorgeous. We have one more that's going to print next. All right, we are almost there. The next portion is going to be the mom cake topper. I'm going to copy this and bring it over to my empty canvas so we can see what we're working with. The wording on this, I am actually giving this away as a free SVG file, which I will link in the description. So if you want to create a design with this SVG, head over there and grab the link for that free SVG. As far as the background goes, I went to images and I searched up rose, and I went with this rose here. You don't have to, it's totally up to you, whichever rose you want. This one would be really pretty as well. This would have been a pretty option as well, but I'm going to stick with the one that I used. The other thing I did was that same transparent paper that we did in Canva for the menu. I'm going to use that here as well. I'll send it to the back so we can see what we're doing. And then I'm going to select just the rose and the sheet of transparent paper and click on slice. I can then delete our excess, and now we have a rose with the flower pattern on it. I'll then offset this rose, move that aside, hit offset. I want a thin offset, but thick enough that it's going to give me the space I want. You may notice here I left this little piece in by accident and I shouldn't have, but that's all right. Mistakes happen, you learn from them, right? So I want it to be as thin as I can possibly get it and not have it cut down in this area here. I think 90 might be a good spot. Yeah. I'm going to hit apply. And for the offset, you'll see contour is not available. And I want to remove all of these little bits that are showing through here. So all that green, or the green portions that are showing will cut. And I don't want that. I'm going to go up to operation and I'm going to change my operation to a basic cut. Now my contour is available. I'll click on that and click on hide all contours. We'll change the color of that contour white and then select both portions and flatten. Size it down to whatever size you want. I did mine at about 4 inches. And this truly depends on the cake that you have. And the last thing I did was I'm going to ungroup this and my SVG that, like I said, will be a free SVG. We can add that to the top of our cake topper. And then we can go ahead and print, then cut both pieces. My initial thoughts were that I was going to cut this in gold foil HTV, but I didn't realize I ran out and I need to get some more. So instead I used pink, but gold would have been really pretty to use. So we'll go ahead and get this cut and we'll meet back at the craft table. Don't mind my mistakes. I made a mistake. That was no easy feat, but we got it cut. I had to trick the machine a little bit, but it worked. So that's our other drink tag, and this is going to be our cake topper, which is simply just so gorgeous. You can see that there. Our iron-on is now complete, is now cut. I did some test spots just to ensure it was cut properly, and it is, so that's lovely. I'm going to go ahead and get this weeded. And the hardest part is finding the cut marks. I think I'm going to start off by removing the centers first. My tweezers, as always. And now I'm just going to gently weed the rest of the vinyl off. I'm just taking my time because it is very fine letters. And we're going to just stick this onto here. Like so. I'm going to let my heat press come to heat up, and then we'll be right back. Our heat press is warmed up. I always do on the second setting, and be very careful. protect your surface if you have to. I always just iron right on the surface. It does not need a lot to get this going. Super simple, super gorgeous. And I'm just going to stick one of these back here with my hot glue gun. Just the hot glue, like I had mentioned. And truly, you could have done this like double-sided so that both sides are covered, but I didn't think about that. Okay, 2 more to go. We have these tags that we're going to use as place settings, not place settings with everybody's name on it. Instead, place settings for each mom in your life that just looks really pretty on the table. The little detail of the heart cutout adds a little extra something to it, in my opinion, of course. How I went about doing that is we'll go to our blank canvas, I went to shapes. I brought in a tag. This is not a free shape, but you could probably Google it and find a free shape and bring it into Canva. So a JPEG or a PNG that you can find on Google. And I went ahead and changed the color. I did go with a light pink. I wanted it to be very soft. Back to our shapes. I brought in a heart, resized it, and spun it around. Added it to the design. Selected both the heart and the gift tag and clicked on slice. Now we have our tag with our heart cutout. I'm going to bring in a text box. I used Biamo for this tag. Just like so. You are not able to center it. We can't align center because it does it like that. And to me, that doesn't look good. So I'm eyeballing where to center it. I'm going to change this to black. Select both the tag and the mom portion and flatten. We'll head over to the craft table so I can show you what these look like and how I decided to finish them off. We have our place settings for all those lovely ladies in our lives. Here we are. So cute. I love the little heart detail. It's so pretty. Just going to grab a piece of ribbon and we'll double it up like so, and then we'll bring it through. That's enough ribbon there. And how gorgeous is that? We can just finish this off a little bit like that. And how gorgeous will that look on our table? We're on the last part of this tutorial. And to me, this is the most gorgeous part ever. We are going to create these roses with the wording on it. And I just want to say in advance that I have a full tutorial on how I did this. It is a very detailed tutorial and I'm going to link it to the description below. So please, if I'm moving too fast and it's not easy to follow along, please go ahead and watch that video because that, like I said, it's a very detailed video. Of course, I'm going to head over to my blank canvas and I just brought them in here so we can look at them or see them while we're creating. And I'm going to go to images and I searched up rose. I am using the same rose that I used for the cake topper. And I'm going to size this down to about 1.4 or so. Our ribbon is 1.5 inches. We need the rose portion to fit that ribbon. We will then bring in a text box and I'm going to type in my words and I'll do the Happy Mother's Day first. I'll then go to character map and I'm going to grab all of the letters with the glyphs on it. I also posted a detailed video on how to get these glyphs in. I posted one a little while ago, and then I recently posted another one which shows how to do how to use this bigger version of character map. You may notice I didn't add the apostrophe to the word mothers. I didn't like the spacing that it has when we add it, because of course we should add a space there. I didn't like the look of it, so I did add it, and I just kind of squeezed it in between instead. I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to click on Unite. In case you don't know, there's really no difference between weld and unite. It does the same thing. Weld, as you can see in these bold words right here, it cannot be undone. The only way to undo it is if I did it right now, I can click on undo. But if I went along and did my project, I'll have no way of undoing the weld action. So unite is the safer way to go in case you make a mistake, a spelling mistake, or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to just resize this. I spun it around, of course, and I'm resizing it to fit my rose. Once you're happy with the design, we'll select both and unite again. Our rose is now complete. We're going to head over to the craft table, and I'm going to get these 3 roses cut and show you how it looks on the ribbon. I'm going to tie some ribbon around here. And like I said, I'm going to iron the words on this portion of the ribbon here. And it's just going to sit just like that on our ribbon. So we'll do a little bit more because that one's quite long. This ribbon I got from Michael's and so pretty. I think that should be good. I do it over twice maybe. And so we have our ribbon. And we'll just place our flower on it. Perfect. Just like so. I will cover this with a piece of butcher paper. And we'll just iron it on like this. Same concept. It does not take much for this to stick. And voila. How gorgeous is that? So pretty. I will just iron it one more time. Gorgeous. And now we can go like so. And voila. How gorgeous is that? Cut. We will trim the ends. And voila. We'll go ahead and do the last 2. I do have to weed the last 2 here. Same idea, just iron it on. And I truly love ironing on ribbon because it just doesn't take much. And it's such a gorgeous look to it as well. Gorgeous. And the last one. Went the opposite way this time, but that's okay. I think it's gonna work. This time I just put the butcher paper under, which is probably better because it's sticking. I guess the adhesive is is coming off on the back there. So what I'm going to do is go like this. Voila. Amazing. Just simply gorgeous. And there you have it, some simple projects that just elevate your tablescape this Mother's Day. I hope you give this tutorial a try. If you do, leave me a comment below and let me know how it went. And of course, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, hit the bell button so you're notified when I post new videos, and of course, subscribe to my channel. Until next week, have a fabulous week ahead. Take care, happy crafting, bye now. And of course, we need to finish this video off with a mimosa. Cheers! From the menu, to the place settings, to the cake topper, to this adorable pennant. Place settings again. We're using that, do you remember that? And our ribbon is so gorgeous. And our signs for our drinks. Where we're using our mimosa bar sign to make this most gorgeous Mother's Day tablescape.